For all you turkey bacon smokers, if it's not dripping, it's not it.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We at the Happy Munkey podcast. Y'all know this is how we get down. This is Ramon Reyes, co-founder and creator of Happy Munkey. We got my man Vlad all the way to the right. And today we got a special guest. And I know I say we always got a special guest, but today is a little bit different because this is hometown. This is hometown hero, especially for me. You know, we haven't really spoken like this, but for me, it's like watching my older brother and his cousins, right? Because, you know, you're in my older brother era, right? So for me, it's able to kind of see what I grew up under, and we like to talk about a lot, like the Goodfellas era for like the Italians. For me, you guys were like the Goodfellas for me in the Marina, right? Because I was the young boy watching you guys, right? And I've been through a lot of those eras with, like, you know, the hicks on my block, and then, you know, when I became an adult, when I was becoming an adult, I was able to experience the Marina firsthand, right? Because I know a lot of people like to talk, like, Marina, but I was there.
You've seen it better than most people.
I seen it better than most people. You know what I mean?
You've seen it from the back.
Yeah, I seen it before.
Everybody else was customers. Like, people talk to me all the time. What was a Marina like? But you have a different view of it.
I have a completely
you seen
different.
Back there.
Yeah, I seen it back then. I seen it when it was still separate, right? When it was the club and it was the boat basin, right? Because it was a boat basin.
Mm-hmm.
Boats actually came and parked there. You know, all our friends have boats there, so it was like, you know,
jet skis, boats,
all sorts of
sea-doos.
shit. So yes, today, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, is a special guest because we get to take it back uptown to the Heights, the home of the Haze, the home, you know, the place where people, you know, where we made weed famous. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because Uptown was real famous for a long time for bricks and companies and different blocks doing all this other shit.
The drug pipeline.
The drug pipeline, right? For the tri-state area and the East
I-95,
Coast for a very
right
long
there.
time, right, Vlad?
Oh.
But weed, when Haze hit the building, it was a whole different planet. But today, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we got an OG of my Uptown native home, our native home, my man, White Boy Kev, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on, my man Kev? How you feeling today, my brother?
Thank you, my brother.
Glad
to be here.
I'm gonna say it's an honor for me, man, because unlike him, you know, I didn't know you personally back then, but you know, to hear the stories from Ramon, to hear it from Jay, from all of my partners, and then I knew of you back then, but it was like a myth because I was a retail wholesale dude in my hood, so I didn't really deal directly with growers. You know what I mean? So I just knew of you but had no direct contact. So it's like today it feels like, you know, having fucking, you know, Kaiser Sose on here type shit. You feel me?
Well, yeah, right. Because for me, you know, Uptown is the Dominican, you know, dominated place, right? So to have the white, well, he was white boy, but like we just spoke about, he's more Dominican than white boy, right? So, you know, I think today is gonna be a good conversation, and I guess good shit, right? I think we gonna reminisce. I think I'm gonna reminisce. I'm gonna tell you some things that I remember that you probably don't remember about, right? Because again, at that time, you was already an adult. You guys owned the Marina. Your brother, you know, it was a whole situation back then, and I was a kid. 19-year-old kid, 20-year-old kid, 21. And this is those 3 years I was looking at what was happening there. So it was a big deal, right? And I know we got to give some
before we get into it, this is going to be,
I got a lot to talk about.
This is going to go deep here. So 2024, we told y'all we here to settle the score. For those that don't know, we will be doing pop-ups. We did one already. There's more to come. Look out for those. We will be hiring. Look out for links if you want to get down with the program.
Yes.
Look out if you ever wanted to work, you know, see what it's like to be behind the scenes, behind a growing movement like ours. You know, we'd love to hear from you. And also, if you want to get 20% off the merch, the key word is listen, and you can get 20% off.
Yes. So the whole point of the pop-up, ladies and gentlemen, is we basically having a promo tour. We're promoting our first drop. As far as merch, you know, we're promoting the podcast, all the people that we promote on the podcast. And store openings, ladies and gentlemen, that's the future for Happy Munkey. Store openings. Basically, I'll be in Brooklyn. My man Vlad will be uptown. You know, get ready, ladies and gentlemen.
Where uptown? Tell the people where uptown.
Man, I'll give Vlad the.
So that's why it's such an honor today to have our brother, like I said, you know, uptown true legacy legend here, because in this episode he will be able to break down, because I could even tell you whatever you want to hear, but you know, you never believe a person that's telling you. You always got to go and get reference from reputable people of why we chose this location. The reason we chose this location is because, as Ramon and Kev alluded to earlier, this is where exotic weed became famous. This was the mecca for retail and wholesale cannabis in the East Coast. And we could have gone to Times Square, we could have gone to 34th, we could have gone to Tribeca, we could have gone to 72nd, but then we wouldn't be doing it for the culture, we'd be doing it for the clout. We're taking it back uptown where it all started at, and we're bringing it back to Dykeman. Anybody that's a real right east of the Mississippi knows why that's so significant to cannabis. We'll get more into it into this episode, and I'm sure my brother Kev will explain why we chose that out of anywhere we could be.
Dykeman, baby.
Man,
We going to Dykeman.
You know, like it's seeing the way this whole legal thing is being rolled down. It's a giant fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like that y'all weren't first on the list and not already open. That's just a joke. But you know, like to see, like real, like, cause y'all crew, like, I know the big dogs are also with us too.
Right.
We got Jay and Omar in the building.
sir.
They came through for me.
They don't make they made a special cameo for you.
Absolutely.
So you know, this is about Washington Heights. It's about legacy. So when you talk about legacy, like this,
I think it's thrown around loosely nowadays, Kev. So maybe
because everybody sold weed in high school.
What you consider
but when I was in
legacy?
high school, nobody sold it because I sold it, right?
Right.
Jay was selling it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like to see y'all, because like y'all, you know, like when you talk about legacy, you know, like at the end of the day, Happy Munkey, like y'all lineages and y'all stories and y'all together, like nobody has that. So to see you guys, you know, because when I look at all these people getting licenses, good for all of them.
Yeah.
No knocks.
All love.
But I don't see enough of my Washington Heights, Dykeman, Inwood.
The people
Getting.
that put the
I only
blood, sweat,
see
and
y'all.
tears in,
Yeah.
and went through
We
all those
created
pains.
the whole market. If you want to talk about Haze, if there's no Washington Heights, there's no Haze. You
Which
know
we
what I'm
smoking
saying?
right now. This shit is fire.
Yes.
By the way.
Shout out to Miyagi.
Yeah.
This is my boy Miyagi.
Nice. You got
Wax
the
on, wax off,
Yes,
Mr.
yes,
Miyagi.
yes.
Okay.
Miyagi, yes, he hooked me up. So to see y'all who like are people that I could look at and say, okay, they for real.
What do you think?
Because
Kev,
you know, people always ask me,
What is that?
yo, what do you think about Happy Munkey?
Well-
what do you think?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know, whatever, everybody, you know, like try to tap down, you know, whatever. I was like, well, from what I see, like y'all the most complete New York brand that I see out there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Thank you.
y'all been out there, y'all motivated me to come out. I seen y'all. I seen
Thank you,
what's his name? Pure.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I
He
seen
was
y'all
like-
out there. You know, I got to meet him.
Yeah.
I got to meet with y'all, and when I go to meet y'all and I hear about Happy Munkey, I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
you were there.
All the dots.
Never mind that the daddies went out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm like, okay, cool. This is like, because me and your brother go back. We more the same age.
Exactly.
Playing sports and, you know, going through that whole uptown shit.
Yep.
So to see y'all coming out and y'all getting it, now y'all going up to Dykeman, like at the end of the day, like, that's like, for me, my official, you know, like, opening of legal cannabis in New York is y'all.
Oh man. Thank you.
You know, because it's
That's
our
crazy.
hood, it's our
It's
people.
our people.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man.
I'm Irish, but you know,
Yeah,
like
you
my love for the
us.
Dominicans
Yeah,
is
you us, man.
you know,
us
like-
now.
We're half Dominican, half Irish.
So can I bring it back? I'll bring it back a little, right? And I'll bring it back to this, and this is how I met Kev, ladies and gentlemen, right? Because this, I know, you know, he's my brother's friend and that era, but I met him in a separate situation, and it was like it was kind of weird, right? Because it was confrontational, right? So it was at the time, I think we might have been in either Flor de Mayo, but back then around 101 there was more restaurants. There was more Cuban restaurants around there. I think it was like Hunan Balcony and like a few other ones. And so I think, so I think I came out of one of those, right? And I was with the fellas, but I was in my own rental. You know what I mean? This is brother. I'm like 19, 20 years old.
This is the 90s.
You know, I'm a little young Thundercat, but I'm in my own rental. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got $1 billion and I'm driving. But I bump into your man by mistake because I was looking down at a phone or something. Somebody texted me or something. I don't know what it was. And I let go of the brake at a red light. And I bumped into him in the back. Boom! It wasn't a big crash, but I bumped into him. So you know.
And I don't know who he is.
Right, we don't know each other.
It's automatic paranoia. It's a set of something happened. You got bumped by the car.
You don't know what it is. He's in there with...
I'm with my girl. So now, you know, the road rage comes out.
Crazy.
What the fuck?
Yo.
You know, like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But
like,
what's crazy is because I remember...
He's in a van. I'm in my Beamer. I'm the one that gets hit. You know what I'm saying?
Like, it's a setup.
I'm ready to truck.
Yo, he was tight,
so
right?
we barking. So I don't even notice he's with another car because I'm just here, right? So I don't know how, but he pulls up or something, and then his brother pulls up. Yo, Kev, that's my brother.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, oh shit, for real? I was like, no. I'm like,
Tone.
I'm like, all right, cool. I'll see you at the Marina
with the whole crowd.
And then Rock Mel, like those all, that's
so AD's
like, cousin,
exactly,
brother.
that's
his
brother.
Like,
yeah, so it's like he's in the car. My brother's in the car.
So we all
with
the same
fellas.
people, but like, if they weren't there, like it could have escalated.
Of course.
Because now, you know, too, you're young.
Exactly.
You're younger.
Exactly.
But I'm an OG, you know, got money in my
and I'm at
money
fault,
in my pocket.
Right? And then I'm at fault. And but I'm young. Like, fuck you, talking mad shit. My brother pulls up.
Now he
like
has to go back to the Marina.
Yeah, now I gotta go back to the Marina.
He don't even notice me.
So now I gotta go back to the Marina, right? And now I go to the Marina, and my brother goes, "Shut the fuck up! Come talk to Kev." Kev now we hug it out because he's grown. You know what I mean? Because now it's different, right?
What?
So we hug it out, and then we became friends from then on. You know what I mean? Because we had basically our own altercations. So from there on, I know who Kev is now. Now and again, it's the Marina crowd, brother. It's like my good fellas. You know what I mean? It's my good fellas.
Wait, slow it down real quick. What's the Marina for the people who don't know?
Exactly.
All right. So La Marina, ladies
especially
and gentlemen.
the Marina back then, because there's a different iteration.
Yeah. So this is totally.
This is the Dominican.
Yeah, this is
the Dominican Marina.
So this is the boat basin of the northern part of Manhattan, right? Because this is like pretty much the edge of the northern part of Manhattan. This is Dykeman.
On the west side.
This is on the west side, on the Hudson. And at this time, the boat basin is a private situation, right? And you can correct me if I'm wrong. This is me talking my opinion. This is not Kev telling me. You correct me. You can tell me. You can stop me anytime I say a lie. This shit was private. And then the other side, it was the club. They had the stage. They used to bring yo, why the guy, all sorts of shit. The shit was straight Dominican all the time. That's what was going on that side, right? But it wasn't a huge side, but it had the stage, it had enough for the tables. My mom even used to come hang out there. Like, it was lit back then. But now the other side was private.
So private meaning like you had to have a boat.
You had to have a boat.
Or you had to be invited back there.
Or you had to be invited to go back there. It didn't make any
so
sense.
my brother ran the Marina area.
Yes.
So he'd see my brother all the time. I'm in a restaurant. We didn't work together. We coordinated, but like
Right.
the Marina was a tough enough job just because who was there. The egos.
Brother. It was a car show though, on the low. Before it became public, it been a car show. It was a car show. This shit was Vipers, Beamers, Benzes, anything you can think of. And they all had boats
cars.
and stash cars and all sorts of shit. Like, you know what I mean? It was crazy and you would never think, you know what I mean? Like, like back.
That was our Riviera. You know what I'm saying? We had our own like private, exclusive club because basically everybody back there, like any of the tigres, they were all mine. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it was your brother or
everybody
Benson
loved you.
or
all the hoods
and Che and Koa
and Koa. God bless his soul. Yeah. All these folks, bro. Come on.
But I stayed away from there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was always trying to be low key. I was
There's a lot
fighting
of
the
heat
hood.
with all those cars and all those jewels and all those
Come on, we
boats.
talking Edwards, the Hummers, and
Edwards was the first to buy.
you know, all the like big dogs, bro, back then. You know,
Edwards,
anybody who was
you
moving
had
real weight, you know what I mean?
Will rest
Complete.
in peace. Koa rest in peace.
Yeah.
Complete.
You
Like
know.
it was a who's who of
And these are the
all the weed dealers.
right. And
Because like for the most part, there wasn't coke dealers back there.
no, that's
Some
it.
did, no doubt.
Well, for,
But the weed dealers that were there
there you go.
ran
There you
everything,
go.
and not together.
No,
It wasn't. Most of us competed and didn't work together. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, those guys that were there, that shit controlled just about everything.
Of course. Well, what I saw was also because a lot of them also were like they were X of this and they used to do X of that, and now it's like weed is the thing. Now we're all weed.
That's
now we're
me.
weed,
I
right?
got everybody out of selling bricks and coke.
All day.
I started with Henry and his cousin, and that's how my boy Ed Farms got involved and all those people. My boy Joe, everybody. I got everybody. I got Koa getting out of it. He was still doing his thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He told me, I need a mill to go buy cash weed down there. That was his whole shit. So he converted, but even before that, the Habibis from my block.
The Arabs.
The Arabs?
The Arabs.
I just
killing.
left him right now. I just went. He runs
Wow.
a gym.
God
You know, we
bless.
still together all
I
these
used to hear
years
about them.
later.
They was lit back then.
They was lit. The little.
Yo. Besides me being a white dude, the Arabs
Oh,
and
they was
Benson.
different. Yeah,
They were the
Benson
only
was a
Arabs.
Arab.
Yeah, exactly.
Benson was killing it forever.
Yeah, but
Funny
Benson
now,
speaks
there's a-
Spanish. Like
there's a-
he's like
he's
you.
Dominican.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. He
There
was
was a
in the
bunch of
room
Arabs
speaking
now. Back
Spanish.
then, they was the only Arabs I used to hear about.
They were the only.
Yes, they were the
Arabs.
only Arabs. Like you know,
And the only Arabs.
and they were like us. Like the
And they did
youngest one went to
business right and
G-Dubs.
did everything. Yeah, you
Yeah.
know, like they were just straight. I went to the oldest one, Amjam, and I graduated. He went to jail, but
It
went
goes
to John
down.
Jay College again.
He went to another. He went to
So
a
we
different
went to
college.
school
He went
with-
to a different college.
No, we went to John Jay School of Criminal Justice with none but cops, and it's me and Amjam. Two guys running like major shit,
That's crazy.
like going for that education, trying to figure out what's next. Because at that time, you know, like selling drugs is a short-term game. If you're trying to be for life, it don't work.
Well, we're talking about guys though that are veterans, right? Even back then, right? These are the guys that a lot of our friends already did time. Like my brother did time already, right? So when he started getting into weed, you know, he already did time from '95 to 2000. So weed to him was like, okay, now it's weed. The weed is the thing. All right, fuck it, right? He got so into it that he wanted to go learn how to grow.
It
right?
changed his life, right?
It changed everything.
Kev, I want to take them on a journey
Let's do it.
because they need to understand. This is how I want you to guide the journey. So what you and EK are talking about right now, what you and Ramon are talking about right now, I want you to, from the question I'm asking you, and then keep on going to how you ended up at La Marina. So what's Kev's first time getting high, smoking, and then from there, little Kev, first time smoking, to how he ends up, like what's the journey to get there?
My first time smoking that I recall was my brother's bachelor party. I was like 17 years old. Because at that time, you know, you were brainwashed.
Yes.
Weed makes you dumb.
Uh-huh.
Nancy Reagan
And
shit.
for some reason, like most of the guys in my neighborhood that gravitate to smoke weed early were actually the slow dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know? So there was a stigma to it, so I tried to stay away from it. So that was the first time I had some drink, smoke, passed out. Don't remember anything
My
else.
man Kev got the presidente. If you don't believe he fucks with Dominicans, then you need to ask somebody.
So from there, me and Smurf, what happened was there was a white dude that got caught with a bunch of weed by a cop. And the cop said, like, you know what, it's just weed, I'll throw it out. She threw it in the dumpster. So we're playing handball in the corner. You know, as kids, we was outside 24/7.
Outside.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes, sir.
playing games, what
All
kids
day.
don't do anymore. So now, the cops let the dude go. Me and Smurf going to the bar.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You better go get that.
You know, and, you know, a $10 bag. We were selling for $3 because
Fuck it.
$3 was paying for the Chinese food up the block. We were just happy.
Yeah.
So that was my introduction from there. But then, like, most of the guys from the block, I was
You
the
was
good
smoking
kid.
you smoked some haraka. There was some good shit they threw
Nah,
out.
seeds.
Harry.
It was, come on, back
Alright,
in those
alright,
days, everything
alright.
was seeds.
Some backyard
You know,
poker.
like,
All right.
so it was just seeds. So then from there, you know, like everybody in the neighborhood was into the hardcore shit. It was the crack epidemic. The money was crazy in the streets. So was killing. So was everything else.
So is everything else.
And then I seen Alan selling weed.
163rd Island, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember I used to go Coffin Island when before I had.
So
before
Alan
I
was
had a
one of
spot.
those early
OG.
dudes.
OG.
So his manager was living in my apartment because he got thrown out. And I helped him out with his books. Do selling 20 G's. Crack spots ain't doing 20 G's in a day. You know, like,
Yep.
you ain't going to jail. You know, if you're selling crack, you gotta have a
You go to jail.
gun.
Yeah.
You go, and you probably going to jail.
You're gonna have to kill somebody.
Yeah,
You're gonna be the
somebody,
king.
or they gonna kill you, or you going to jail. That's what's probably gonna happen.
So I
One of those
said-
three.
So I seen what Alan did. Always heard about Ruben 174, who was the OG of all OGs of the exotic game, I would say, on 174 and Audubon.
A lot say, I want to know, not- sorry to cut you off, but then you keep on going. You know, there's a lot of different debate, Kev. I want to know your opinion of what was the first big block selling haze and exotics uptown.
Exotics is Ruben
That's
174.
what I'm saying. That's your era.
Anybody from, if you're from, I don't care where you're from, that's Ruben.
Wow, Cowboys,
Ruben,
all that.
yeah, Ruben was, he was the rock star. Pushing the Benz in the early days off of weed. He killed it. Ruben,
He was the first.
there's no debate.
There's no debate.
There's no debate. OG's back there, what you think? Is there a debate?
174,
Ruben,
Ruben.
not that guy?
No debate.
I heard the same thing about a lot of
That's
people.
crazy.
But
Yo,
I'm
Ruben
y'all
was-
older than me, so I
Yo,
saw
Ruben
that's
was
a
so
good-
good, like, and rocking so well that, like, when Ruben closed, up on 183rd and Audubon, and 173rd, the Red Door, my two spots, both make another $5,000 each.
Just because his
Just
spot
'cause he
closed.
closed. And not
Like
everybody came.
it's 9 o'clock and he closed.
No, he closed during a drought. The word would spread, yo, Ruben closed. He was the king. Yo, if Ruben closed, it was like, yo,
Yeah,
nobody
exactly.
sell any other weed, like no more ounces, any dimes and 20s. That's it. Milking
Crazy.
it.
Kev,
Crazy.
we need to. You gotta remember, this new era doesn't understand some of this terminology, so I always want to be conscious and stop and break it down. For those that don't understand, when we say a block, what did a block mean back then to own this piece of real estate, to say you're the only one who can sell? Can you give them, because like that doesn't exist nowadays. Now you bring a table to a shesh, you get an Instagram page, whatever. So what was that back then, so people could understand what that meant? Because it's like they get lost on
Every block was run by the block. You know, so whoever was either the most forceful or the smartest dude,
the most
and normally-
forceful or the most smart. But you couldn't be a slouch and have a block.
you had to have an older brother or somebody that was that block. You know, like you can't have a block and be a
Yes.
slouch.
Okay.
There's no way.
So what did that mean back then? Owning this
you
piece of
making
real
money,
estate.
you a victim. You gotta,
And
you
so
have
this is your block, because for those that don't know, how many other people could sell on your block? Kev? Like when somebody says that that's their block.
weed. When I was
Yeah,
on, nobody
that
else.
era. No, I'm just saying, but not just you. In general, I think.
Well,
Yeah,
you know, back in those days, you know, like we had buildings that were just full of drug apartments.
Of
that
course,
were
I
run
just mean more like
by
a spot.
multiple. But like when we talking weed,
Yeah, weed.
there was one weed spot on each block,
That's what I'm saying.
if they had one.
So if you own one of those pieces of real estate, it's like a big thing.
Hell yeah.
I'm just trying to tell you.
You're talking about like the you know, New York is the capital of money. You're talking about the biggest drug pipeline in the history of the world, at the highest point with the crack epidemic, right? And you know the Dominicans like mastered that whole crack shit with
Exactly,
running
yeah.
shit in the Bronx and everywhere else.
They made that shit like a real corporate company.
So,
shit, like,
you know, at any point on that block, you might have had 1,000 drug dealers. It wasn't, yo, it was Vietnam for a reason. If you went to 163rd and Audubon, Broadway, or 160, yo, that shit was crazy.
that shit was crazy.
If you drove down the block, you got harassed. because the money, it was abundant. But with the weed, there was one dude. And each block had a thing, and, just like anything, survival of the fittest.
Only the strong survive.
Only the strong survive.
Yo, Kev, so not to throw it off, so we got to that part, because I'm trying to get to where you were, to how you got to La Marina. So you go, you're hearing that, Ruben is killing it, you see Allen killing it, and now it seems like you're thinking about entering. What
Yeah,
happens
so I
then?
bought 4 ounces for $1,600. I opened up on 164, 173rd,
Where? 174? 164?
164 on Broadway. That's
Okay.
my block,
Okay.
right? So,
And 173rd where?
Red Door, Audubon.
Okay, so 173rd Audubon, 164
Red Door.
Broadway.
And then
Red Door.
in 94, I opened up afterwards 183rd Audubon, which was like my flagship.
Flagship. It sounds
Because that's
like,
where all the girls
Okay.
went to buy weed because they didn't
Shit
get
sounds
the
like
gas.
Kid for Louis Vuitton. You had flagship.
No, that was my flagship. Because
Flagship,
each
dog.
each spot was different. Like 164 was based off of the money that was made on that block, right? So every drug dealer that was pumping and selling, his customers had to wait to pick up
Yeah.
the brick,
You gotta
count
buy
the
weed,
cash.
you gotta buy some weed.
They were buying weed right there. So just from those dudes alone, you can make
Yes.
5 Gs.
Yes.
Right?
That was crazy.
Now 173rd, the Red Door, right? So now when you talk about the real estate of 173rd, right? You're talking about 173rd.
By the way, you're a block away from Ruben on 174.
Yes, but not just Ruben. I'm down the block from Knockout. I'm down the block from other guys on 172nd. Not everybody wants their name announced,
That's-
yeah.
but 172nd, right?
Yep.
And then you have 171st. Yo, like that real estate right there
Was
It's crazy.
was probably
You got rest in peace Wando. They used to be over there.
yes, took over Ruben's spot afterwards. Yes, because Chuck,
Yeah, but he's talking even before that.
I'm
No,
talking
of course,
way
of
before
course,
that.
of course.
Because Chuck and Koa and Stead is Mikey's older brother, and that's how I got on 173rd. So the reason why I got to go on so many blocks wasn't because I was the hardest, toughest, whatever. I was more along the lines of the smartest. But my boy
Sometimes you
Koa,
ain't gotta be the hardest.
my
you gotta
boy-
be the smartest.
my boy Koa, rest in peace,
Yeah.
and Stead, rest in peace. They were from the streets. They were, and they had love. You know what I'm saying? So like, I was the young I got into the game after them. Like when Koa got thrown out of his house at the age of 16, right, for selling drugs, he moved in with me and my mom.
Oh yeah, that's your brother.
Who
So-
was this? Koa, you said?
Koa.
Yeah,
Who was
that's
Koa?
the homie. Yeah.
Koa's the one that was my brother. That was
That was like the mentor.
he
the
got
OG.
killed outside the Marina, and I was
Yeah.
like part of the whole
I remember.
downfall of what happened,
Yeah.
So, because of those guys,
Put you
like,
onto the game.
no, like I just had these relationships with these dudes that like, I was the guy that you left your bail money with.
The trust was there.
Cause you come to my house. My
Yeah.
mom's there. My mom's still there. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm about loyalty, honesty. I'm about like not chasing the money, like not disrespecting friends.
The morals, principles,
because
and values.
when people have money, yeah, everybody loses who they are. You know what I'm saying? So, like I was not that friend. Like I was the friend that kept it real. I was, went to the jail visit. Went, sent commissary.
That's when you find
The
out truth.
little things that mattered.
Go a long way.
Like back in the days, right? One of my boys robbed another boy of mine.
Oh,
right?
Man, this is a classic.
So he
Koa
robbed
time.
him for like a half a pound of weed and like, like a 112 gram, whatever the fuck it is, right?
Big Ape.
So he tells me whatever. So I was like, that's your problem. You owe me the money. We good.
Yeah.
So the guy that robbed him found out that it was me with the weed. So he called him up, yo, I'm gonna meet up with you. Gun's back. He was like, yo, here's his bag. So he goes through the bag. Where's the coat? He said, I didn't rob Kevin, I robbed you. But that guy right there
That's some real shit to say.
was some you know, like real gangster, but he knew if he ever needed commissary or somebody go see his mom, I was that guy.
So I brought that back for Kev, not for you.
Yeah.
So Kev, so how you go
Gangsta
from
shit.
this to
So
jump
then
in
he
the
hits
game?
me up,
Yeah.
yo. I was like, that ain't my problem. I don't sell him weed because of that.
You caught in the
You know what I'm
crossfire
saying?
now.
I could have
Shit.
been selling my man that weed, but I know,
I don't know how you get busy.
Politics.
You get busy.
no, it's smart.
She's smart.
Somebody that's willing to rob for $2,000-$3,000 can't work with that.
You gotta.
Like for real, that now when we talking about hundreds of thousands, fuck you think's gonna happen?
So now we moving up, right? So where we at? So now we got all the
So we
spots.
pumping,
You got the
we
flag.
pumping,
You got
got
the
the spots.
flagships.
Yeah.
How do we get to La Marina?
All right, so now, so 94, right?
Wow.
Pumping the haze. Now going to Florida, getting it myself. 4,000 pounds.
That
Driving
shit
up
is
with my
the
girl. You know, like my boys
you
would
gotta
drive down
plug
with the guys.
numbers.
How much for a pound?
4,000 down there,
How much
65 here.
65
Drought?
here.
75.
See now, hold up, Kev. Hold up. Once again, you gotta. I always like to pause, Kev, because we gotta like to keep things relevant for people that are not from that era. Droughts don't happen anymore, Kev.
Yeah,
So you need
I
to
know.
first stop.
That's when you got rid of your bad word.
You first gotta stop and explain to the people what it meant back then when the drought hits and what happens.
And what? Yeah, I remember. Do y'all remember drought season? Right? Because I remember drought
Every
season.
summer, every summer.
Every
Okay.
summer.
So what
What
happens?
part of the
What happens
summer?
every
Yeah.
summer
The
back
beginning
then?
or the end?
Ow.
What happens back
Yo.
then when the drought hits in the summer? Because they don't know. They don't happen no more, Kev.
That's how I got to make my money.
It's a hurricane every summer now. There's no.
So I seen Alan going through droughts, right? And I'm stupid not understanding the game because I'm not.
But
in
what
it
does
yet.
that? What does that mean? Drought?
It means
know.
there's no fucking good weed on the streets.
Even if you
at
have
all.
the money.
Even if you have-
Nothing.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. They don't.
It
know
don't
that.
fucking
That-
matter.
that don't happen no
There's
more,
no
Kev.
fucking weed.
There you go.
There's no fire weed. Like Haze,
Nah.
there was none for weeks, sometimes a month and a half. Like there's a 20 pack and people fighting over get two. Yo, you what do you mean you not get yo, I need to keep my block open.
Basically, when there's a drought, in my experience, to give people context, like you want 10 pounds, I'm gonna sell you 2 pounds, and you're gonna say thank you, and you're gonna be grateful that I even sold you 2
You're
pounds.
lucky to get those two. And that's where the relationships come, where you get to stay open or not. Because I was fucking with Vice back in the days on Academy,
Rest
who
in
was
peace,
one of
Vice.
those, him, his brother,
Oh jeez.
OGs in the whole game.
Shout out to
So I was
Tito
working
Titus
with them.
Greenery from Academy.
Yeah, he
Yes,
always
yes,
calls.
Tito. And, you know, Eddie from 189. You know, like, because 189, they were all tied with the toy store, 175th.
That shit was
I think they might have been part of, what
Saint
was the
Nick,
other
right?
spot? Yeah.
When
So
they
they
had
were
Saint
all
Nick.
like connected. So you got those relationships. But even then, they'd be like, yo, you know, at the end of the day, you stop selling ounces at that point. You ain't even selling pounds.
I never sold.
I'm not selling $7,200 pounds when I'm gonna get $12,000 for a 0.3
I didn't.
and dimes.
Kev, I didn't sell.
And people happy
I didn't sell ounces.
to get that 0.3.
I didn't sell ounces in
Let me get
139
that.
in Broadway till like I started in '98 till like probably like 2001, 2002 because like you said there was no need.
So in '98, right? That's when I got the Marina. So it was all my brother. My brother was like, we grew up there. My dad would take us there fishing as kids, whatever.
God bless you, brother. We fucked it up. We all tore it up for him. But brother, God bless him. But go ahead.
Yo, it's
Keep
fuck-
going.
Yo,
Keep going.
yo, I just got a text today about
going.
somebody telling me an article about my brother being this master kingpin.
Oh my God.
You know,
God
and-
bless. That
and-
sucks, yo.
You know, like I go on podcasts and I go on stories all the time to try and tell people, like, if anything, like my brother's name got like fucked up and my brother didn't. You know my brother. You know what was going on.
That shit
Tell
sucks.
me you think my brother was a
Hell
master
no.
king.
Hell no.
My brother never
He wasn't-
sold drugs
He was
I was
ever.
against that.
It's just that.
No, he
it's
was
just that his-
getting high. He was drinking. He had his own issues.
And you barely saw him, brother, because he wasn't in the
He
in the
didn't
same
know.
function. No, he was.
We were under investigation knowing it. The same cops that fucking took everything down and
shit was
Brennan or that was the special prosecutor. Yo, these motherfuckers, when we had the blackout, yo, that whole MNTF was in the marina drinking, hanging with me. Yo, they told me, yo, Kev, you under investigation. Like, the orders went out. Like, I wasn't going to the blocks. I wasn't going to grow houses. I'm thinking, I'm going to franchise a marina. This is the clean money. This is, like, I'm not staying in the weed game.
Yeah, it's on, yeah.
So, 52, I'm still in the weed game. But I was going for the transition. So, it was 98. We got it. And, you know, I started with, like, opera on the Hudson.
Opera on
Yo,
the Hudson.
I had fucking opera singers from the Metropolitan Opera coming.
Lincoln
That's
Center.
crazy.
Yo.
You would have done that, right? We ain't
But I
seen that
made
coming.
$300, bro.
Right.
I lost money.
Right?
Right?
Go to see opera up there.
So, you know, I tried a few different things. Benson did some parties. That shit was too hood. Not for me. I didn't want it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and one thing that, like, my wife being Dominican and my ex-girlfriend was Dominican, like, most of my girls were Dominican. I go to Dominican, I see Dominican, right? And I see the people there. Because, you know, people think about the Dominicans and the hood and gangs. So, yo, if you go to DR and see them, how like, the simplest...
It's paradise.
brokest-
People forget.
Yo, they
it's
happy,
paradise.
bro. It's New York that turns them into monsters.
Turns people into monsters.
It's the money machine. Like, this will tempt the devil out of everybody. So now I see the Dominicans, right?
Ambitious Dominican
So
in New
now I'm
York
like,
is, you know,
I
dangerous.
love these people.
Yeah,
Like, they just, the
Love
happiest
the party.
drunk. I'm Irish. We drink, we fight.
yeah. Y'all get-
Like,
y'all get
Dominicans
crazy.
drink and sing with each other. I could fuck with this. So, I brought in bachata because bachata
The
was the cheapest.
bachata. Let's say you got
Bachata was
everybody
cheap.
now uptown. You got the bachata.
Right, my first band was actually
This-
David David.
This is like
which
the
was
90s
merengue.
still. This is 98, 99.
It's like 2000.
2000.
Right? Because, you know, I tried the opera shit
Yep, yep,
first. I
yep.
tried
You
to
did all
apply to
that
white
other shit.
people.
Yeah,
That shit
it
didn't work.
Because
There's
white
no
white
money.
people wasn't there yet. White people there now.
And because back in those days, it was an abandoned area. That's where all the cars got stripped. So when I first opened and tried to tell people to come there, they're like,
Go, eh?
What?
Spicy over there.
I'm not going.
Spicy.
So I go and I start with David, $700. And then the next week, another little cheap band. And then I went to Luis Segura. He was like the old school bachata guy, right? And I paid him $1,700. No, maybe $1,200. Right?
What?
But it was all about families. Like you said, your mom was there. Like, there was families there.
You got the
You know?
bachata. You got the whole family.
It was lit. It
So-
was lit.
I put in the dress code to protect the place. You could come in with chancletas, but you can't come in with Timbs.
Exactly.
You can't come in with jerseys.
The jersey.
You know what I'm saying? You could come with a tight ass shirt. You know the man.
Yep.
Tight ass shirts.
Love
You
it.
smart. You
Yo,
got the hick money.
A guy with
Love
a
it.
pedicure and a manicure
Absolutely.
and chancletas is not causing a problem in my place. And if he brought his mother with him,
He's-
you know
he
you good.
He don't want no beef.
So that's where I seen, okay, there's safety here. This is the way I could build, right?
And we party like a motherfucker.
Yo,
Like a motherfucker.
nonstop.
But that's all
And then,
day.
but you know, the blessing is, right, that what everybody doesn't understand is
Sure.
Sundays is like a Dominican holiday.
Ah,
Like Sunday parties for Dominicans is a normal occurrence.
for sure.
So, you know, most clubs' popular night is Friday or Saturday. My shit was Sundays and during the day.
Sundays was
Shaking.
shaking.
Bring out the nice shoes and the
Sundays
shit.
was
Bring
I was-
Oh,
the
man.
button
I
out
was-
down. You bring out the click clap. You know what I mean?
Man.
So that's where I patterned on basically just seeing safety and everything else and like culture, seeing like people coming with their moms and vibing like that. And I was like, this is the path. And then I bring in Aventura. I go through a 4-week stretch, right? So
That's not fair.
Wow.
it's Munchie and Alexander,
Oh,
who was hot at that
Yeah,
time.
super hot.
Luis Vargas, Frank
over.
Reyes,
Oh man, you got the lineup. You got the
and Aventura. Now,
They don't stand
Aventura
a
at that
chance.
time was the least known, but
They
the
were the young
girls
ones.
were already going crazy.
Yeah, that's it.
They
yeah.
wanted to come up.
Antonio Rosario.
So I paid him I stayed
Doña
bachata at
Rosario,
first.
you see, that's crazy.
No, Toño was too expensive for me.
Yeah.
Toño was charging me $20,000, right? But I had to give a $10,000 deposit. It rains. I'm outdoors.
I mean, I saw Celio
That's
Vargas
a very expensive
That's a risk.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Celio
but
was popping. That's when he got the fro and
But
everything. You remember?
But I grew to that. Because at the end of the day,
Yeah, it's true,
I
'cause
could
that was
afford
later-
that
that was later than
$3,000
that,
for
yeah.
Aventura, but I couldn't afford the 20 at that time.
Hold on.
You know,
hold on.
like-
We ain't go.
Because when you go to a
past
party,
that.
you know, there's more expenses
How much
besides
did
the
you
band.
just say you paid Aventura back then?
3,000.
Come on.
Come on, you know my man talking about the golden now. You couldn't get Aventura for 30,000 now.
Crazy.
30.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, the first year was 3, the second year was 7,500, the third year was 15,000, the next year was 25, and then they went to 75,000 and half of the door.
Ooh.
And half the door. Profit.
But you caught a good run. You caught a good run.
Oh,
you caught
I
a good
killed
run.
it. And like, it was worth it.
So now after you get this bachata lineup, what happens with the spot?
It just takes off.
Of course.
Because
It was
at the end,
beautiful.
at the end of the,
It was
at the end of the day, most people don't understand because bachata now, like weed, is popular. Anthony Santos and them, they command
Oh,
mad
no.
money now.
Yeah.
Back then, those guys would cost 3,000, 4,000. You know what I'm saying? But like hip hop,
Things
bachata.
changed. Yeah. It evolved.
changed over.
It evolved.
So now that comes. So now, okay, I'm killing it now. Now it's like, okay, next step. Dominicans. Who's the king of Dominicans? Doño Rosario.
Doña Rosario. What happens when you bring him?
I brought him in on jet skis. I brought, when Doño comes in, it was different. He was like the Michael Jackson. He is
the
like
Michael
the Michael
Jackson.
Jackson.
He is wild.
Bad Bunny.
He is wild.
You know what I'm saying? Like
wild.
people weren't even dancing. They were standing watching. You know, like Fernando.
But he's gonna be Villalona.
Yeah,
El
like-
Mayimbe.
like-
Yeah, El Mayimbe.
Yo, people were
nah.
there watching.
Es que Toño is a whole, like, he's an extravaganza, brother. He's gonna come out with his hair colorful, a crazy ass outfit. He's gonna do a show. Like, he's wild. Wow.
He got
crazy.
hits forever, all
Yeah.
night.
So every other show I've ever done, right? It's my simple stage and everything you've seen. So now I'm bringing in Doño. Get the $10,000 deposit. And his manager comes the night before. Hector Masunadas. Doño won't perform on the stage.
He won't perform on the stage.
Not that stage. He needs
Oh.
lights. He needs this.
Oh.
So all of a sudden, I'm already sold out. Like I already sold 1,000 tickets.
Oh, my God.
$75 guys.
Oh, my God.
25 women. I always
Yeah, the
cater
women.
to the women.
It's- oh,
Because
it's
any
smart of
any
them.
guy that comes to my door and says, "Why I gotta pay this much?" When you see all the women in there,
Ain't no problem.
like
That's what
don't
you pay
come,
for,
don't
yeah.
come then.
Don't come.
You're in the wrong place.
You're in the wrong place if you can't afford it.
You know what I'm saying? Because like in
Yeah.
general, people with money, they don't want to cause problems. Life's good.
Right?
I'm not angry. I got money in my pocket. It's the dudes without money that angry, right?
Yeah.
Those are the
You
guys
fucking
that
it up.
looking
Yeah,
hating.
you fucking it up. Yeah, you fucking it up in the club, man. Go home, right?
So then Doño comes and
It's over.
that's it.
Marina's on full prime. No en su peak, but en su prime, como dice Bad Bunny.
Killed it. Killing it. I was like, the Marina's the most iconic shit uptown scene, period.
But look, even after that,
And Haze made the money for me to do the Marina.
Think about how ill it was that after you and your brother, it had a down point, and then they brought it back again, and then again killed it. You know what I mean? In the next wave, because it's just an iconic place. Who and when did they start calling you White Boy Kev? I ain't gonna lie, this new logo with the 4-leaf clover and the WBK. It don't matter. You're not playing with
Can
a
you
Kev.
tell us what you were telling us before about the logo here?
Well, there's 3-leaf clover and 4-leaf clover.
Mhm.
So a 4-leaf clover grows by itself. You know, I didn't grow up with Irish people. I grew up by myself. And then being a weed grower, you know, we different too.
Yeah,
By
yeah.
yourself.
Introverts,
Very
loners.
by yourself. Very lonesome job.
I hid forever. My
Yeah,
kids just
especially
found
back
out
then.
maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
Right,
Like y'all met
especially
me
back
early
then.
in the game, and I
And nobody
appreciate you
told
Kids
us.
found
guys.
out because of us.
I appreciate, you know, the early support I got from y'all, bringing me out to the Happy Monkey party. That shit was like, oh my God, look at what we doing here. Like that shit was dope.
Thank you, man.
And then y'all kill it. Y'all actually get girls out to events. Because like every other event I go is just guys, you know, like, and I'm happily married and whatever, but you know, like
Yeah,
y'all
It's
throw,
just the ambiance.
you just throw something different, you know? So that's dope.
Thank you. That's big.
And thank you guys for the support.
Nah, yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's love. It's love, man. It's like again, it's full circle for me. It's good to like show support to whoever survived, right? Because for me, I was fortunate enough to
many
see
left.
a couple eras, you know, ahead of me, right? I was around generations ahead of me, right? Because I was around my older brothers. I got a couple older brothers, right? So I'm around different generations in my life. So whoever kind of survived right now, and you know, the real, I'm happy to support whoever's left, right? Because that's all we got at this point, right? We kind of like,
Our enemies are corporate and the MSOs and all the Chads and all, you know, like when I go out and like talk to these investor dudes, I'm never gonna get a deal, bro. Like I'm getting canceled by all these motherfuckers, bro. Yo, when I meet these dudes and they tell me how they sold weed in high school, yo, that shit just pisses me off, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause those are the guys that snitched on me, and now they trying to say they, nah.
you know,
Capitalism.
So I'm gonna need y'all to blow up and be like, yo, we gotta take care of OG and bring him back. You know what I'm saying? Cause I can't see, like, especially here in New York, this shit's a shit show.
yeah, man.
Like, there's no good weed out here. Like, it's gonna be a while before the good weed comes. So I think, like,
So what do you think? I was gonna ask you that, Kev. So
I'm going to Jersey.
We went from that era of like, you know, Haze was king. Now,
Hold on. Before we even, let's not just pass that the Haze is King era. You know, at that point, how does it feel? Like, kind of like, you know, how does it feel to and now looking back, right, to kind of be right in smack in the middle of that era of like, you know, Haze is like a hot commodity, you know what I mean? And you being able to have access, whether it's you growing it a little bit or you having to buy, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people didn't live that era, right? So it's kind of like, how does it feel to kind of survive that era, right? And to even know that that was going to be an era, right? Because you was just living it, right? You just lived it. And then you just, oh shit, all of a sudden now it's gone and these people's gone. And
well, you know, part of me did, you know, like hiding so long, I didn't know that Haze got unpopular.
right.
Because the people I was selling, you know, the prices still went down.
Yeah.
But like, my weed always sold. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like, I didn't know that people didn't like Haze anymore. Or weren't buying.
nah.
No, I didn't know that shit. I didn't know that shit. You know, I know the game changed or whatever,
So
but
it was
like,
a culture shock to you when
like,
you came back out.
yeah,
and see
you know, like
52 flavors like Baskin Robbins.
I'm the idiot, like with the straight legs and shell tops with the fat laces, and then it comes back in style. So you're like, yo.
oh shit, I didn't even know this shit.
Oh, did it go out? Oh shit, my bad. So yeah, I didn't really know. You know, but like for me, like, you know, we got some amazing weed right here. My boy Dane,
Yeah,
right?
He gave
From
some stupid
Oregon.
shit.
And
That shit crazy.
what did we just smoke before?
Like, you know, it's the
Cuties,
shit.
right?
That shit was crazy.
So my boy Nick, they're going in the legal aspect in Jersey now. So we're gonna see that shit out there, and I'm looking forward to work with that. But like, I just didn't see that it was not popular anymore, and didn't really know because, you know, I was hiding. You know, but it was good timing from when I came out that I actually had a resurgence that I didn't know needed to happen. But, you know, like Haze for me is the perfect daytime high.
That's why
That's
New
why I
York is so
think-
popular.
yeah.
Because like we on the go, like if you try to cross our streets, you're gonna get hit by a mini cab, a fucking
Pasola.
horse, a fucking, you know, like.
Now,
It's crazy.
now 1,000 bikers and pasolas.
Like,
This
so
shit
you
is
always
crazy.
got to be on point. But us back in the days, if you smoke weed, like at the end of the day, to take the edge off, you can't be dopey and function and be on point and, you know, like, so I just think that, like, at the end of the day, like, haze, for anybody that wants to smoke daytime and get through your day and go work out after you're high, it'll always have a place.
But let's be, I'll hit a little comment, right? And I think we all have this in common. Even those who made a lot of money, millions of dollars off haze, we all like to smoke haze, right? Because that was kind of
It's
like
my
our first,
daytime high every
right?
day.
That was kind of like a thing first, right? Like, oh shit, I like this. You know what? I'm gonna get involved, so I ain't never gotta spend no money on this shit no more, right? Because we all love this shit, right? Because I know most of us just still got like this, like, love thing with haze, right? Because a lot of
Oh,
us
it's
got like this,
passionate.
yeah.
It's a
man.
very small part of the market, but like I got people from like everywhere that will drive 2 hours to come see me.
Yeah, because it's a nostalgia, right? And they
Of
want to
course.
bring it back,
Weed.
right?
Music, food,
Yeah, man.
those are time machines.
Time
When,
machines.
when I give that weed to somebody, oh shit, it was a weed I stole from my parents. Here's my weed from high school. This is, you know, like
Takes you back to that moment.
everything. Like the first time you smoke sour or smell sour, like, you know, it just brings you back.
So what happens after that? That's what I was gonna ask you, Kev. So like, haze has a dominant era for like 15 years. What happens when you start seeing new strains come along, like
Whoa.
sour,
In
Granddaddy
2000,
Purple,
in
OG, other shit?
2004, I think was the
Really?
first time I saw sour. I know other people were seeing that shit before, but that shit wasn't in the Heights.
Very rare.
Not much.
So when I
Very
seen
rare,
it-
very rare. Very
When I
rare.
seen it, and the first pound I paid $7,500,
That's how it was.
right?
That's how much I paid the first time.
I said, Haze is in trouble.
Haze is in trouble.
That smell, that like, see, there's a big problem now, right?
There's a problem.
Right, right, Jay. Everybody wants to put the name sour on something.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand because when you say it's sour, you get at least two. Sour's gone.
We used to open the jar and you smell it. You ain't have to even
Yeah.
put it to your nose.
You open the dime bag though. You
Let's be
gotta,
real.
you gotta call the
Let's-
ambulance.
I'll give you a
gotta call
funny
the fire
story. Back in the
department.
days, in the marina, when I knew it was under investigation, Ed Farms comes back, and he comes into the marina, and he's got a dime bag. But I thought he came out of a grow because he stunk so much that I was like, you know I'm under investigation.
What the
How
fuck
dare
you
you
doing?
come here from there? And I kicked him out. And he was trying to tell me, no, it's only a dime bag. No, out. I kicked him out. I was like, how you disrespect me like that? You know. You coming like that? Nah, it was a dime bag. That's that sour.
That was the sour.
You won't, oh, outside. That's just gone.
So what is it that you seeing now, Kev, that people are calling sour? As
I
my
know-
brother Jay likes to call it turkey bacon. What you seeing out there?
I know that there are people I know that have the same sour cut and tell me they do. I just think, just like us, I'm old. You know what I'm saying? Shit hurts. Plants degenerate. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, most plants don't get tested that way
Strains dilute.
because they don't stay around long enough. They're not relevant enough that people want to keep them around. You know what I'm saying? Like, my haze is still fire. But, you know, at the end of the day, I still think that 94, 95 haze
Doesn't
was a
exist.
haze different.
So yeah. So let's poke a little bit around that, right? What do we think about today's haze, right? Because a lot of people say, you know, that
It's gone.
it's gone.
And then when I show it to them, they tell me, it's here.
That's a big deal.
What about when you see Kev now, things morph more. Now you start seeing gorilla. You start seeing purples. and you
gorilla.
start- what do you start hearing after that era? First sour has a whole era.
I
then,
missed most of that shit. I was hiding.
So
Like,
now
I would hear little things, but I wasn't, like, I'm a dad. I take care of my daughters every day. Growing my garden, like, I'm not seeing what's going on.
So now you come out, Kev, and you see now everybody has 50 different flavors. There's more names of weed than there is names of people. What do you say to yourself, Kev, after you come
Just the
out?
Marina boys alone, we probably have 200 different cuts. I don't grow any of them. You know, like
So
I
how
just grow
many-
my
so
haze.
imagine how many's
But
out there.
it's too many. Like if you go to events, like me and Jay walk around some of the events, and you know, there's 20 tables, and each table might have 10 different. So now you calculate that maybe 3 from each table is different. There's 300 different strains that day at that event.
It's crazy. Did you ever think you would see some shit like that back then when the Diamond and 20 era? In New York?
Maybe before the haze, I could have thought it'd be like that, but not after the haze, you know? But like everything's just changed. It's about breeding, it's about new, you know, like at the end of the day, like today's growers, you know, great growers go on YouTube. Like there's no more growers like me anymore. You know, like my generation of growers and those before me, like we had to learn by doing. There was no platform, there was no YouTube, there was nothing. There was fucking High Times magazine.
Yes.
And then
And then that one
if I
Bible, that
grew
one-
and you grew, we wouldn't know because we wouldn't tell each other.
Exactly. That
That was
shit
like
was
top
So like we
secret,
weren't
secret,
learning.
yeah.
Like I learn more now. Like I go up to my homegirl Lindsay at the grow room, Epiphany, right? And you know, she would give me hints and tell me different things, and you know, like. But other than that, like, you know, back in the days, you had trial and error.
So now that you see this shit has gone 0 to 10,000, in your opinion, Kev, like from what you collected since you came out, you seeing what's going on. What do you think is at and where you think it's headed from like everything you've seen, like all these crazy strains, there's legal stores now.
It's only gonna get crazier. Like I was saying, like us growers, like the old school, are done because now like they're kids that put in programs together. You know, like they're doing artificial intelligence.
AI growers?
That's it.
Damn, David, they already took the growing too. This shit, ChatGPT's out of control. We gotta fucking cut that shit out.
Like when's the last time you seen somebody at a toll bridge that you had to pay?
Nah, that's it. That
It's
shit's
the same
automated.
shit. Everything's going that way. We dinosaurs. But that's what's so cool. We the last of a generation. There's no more of us.
I always tell people that's why it's such an honor to have you here, Kev, because what I like to call it is like you are an endangered species, like real people that follow the codes, that can be out there with their head up, that really lived that era that you lived and followed and never broke none of the codes and have morals, principles, values. That's an endangered species.
Well, I think like, you know, the codes that we lived by back in the days aren't the codes of the kids anymore. But that's part of what happened was by locking all of us up and the whole war on crime, there was a void.
Taking out the leaders out the community.
We took out the leaders because we would mentor, you know, like he was talking about. He had 20, 30 mentors in the Marine, you know, for different
Easy.
reasons.
Easy.
So now you take that out and you let kids just run wild. Now, you know.
Without order, there's chaos.
So that's what just happened, and like, you know, Instagram, social media, that just done fucked up, like, you know, like everybody fronting and bullshitting and lying, and you know, you gotta compete with that, and people project happiness when they really need a fucking hug. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, like this shit fucks all of us up.
For sure.
So like at the end of the day, like the way to succeed in life back in the days was through codes, because when people talk about me, you know, Kevin, you know, like whatever, you do your homework in this room. Outside, like your name me, oh, fuck with them, can't fuck with them, you know, like so those things are kind of gone because people are chasing the dollar and their name doesn't mean what for us it meant. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, to be able to walk with your head high and walk around. I go to my mom's block almost every day.
I always tell people, Kev, they don't believe me and you can attest to this. I'm like, what you said is so important that when your name and your face and your credit is that good, you don't need money. like, and you're in the game because like you're so reputable, so credible.
People,
People
wanna
are
work
looking
with
for you.
because you're safe money. I like fucking with safe money.
Save money.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, shit could always happen. But you know, if 5 guys in this room all say this guy's good, that's good enough for me. Because you know, those same 5 guys would tell me later, yo, you heard? This is what's going on. You know, you kind of protect each other.
That nowadays, you know, it's like I said, now you just go pay $300, you set up a table anywhere, you don't, doesn't matter, like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, that's why it's so important for this generation to hear, like, how we got here, because I think it's so important for people to hear stories like you, right, Kev? Because people in the industry,
Stories like
that,
all of us.
no, of course, but I'm
Like,
just trying to say,
I'm looking to do
but-
my own podcast.
but you, like,
and I need to have the daddies on my podcast. So, you know, like, I already spoke, you know, and on some, like, you know, some just
That's
chilling
really
shit,
good,
you
man.
know? But yes, our stories got to go out, and we just have to tell them because we just the last ones.
that's
So
what I'm
you
saying,
just got to
Kev.
soak up those last
Kevin,
stories because there's no more.
But on top of that, like I think it's gonna help the whole industry because people think New York they estimate it's like a $5-6 billion industry, and the industry's been legal for 2 years, but they don't understand how much blood, sweat, and tears, how many people got deported, how many people died, how many people sacrificed their life to build that $6 billion industry. That shit didn't just come out of
Who
nowhere 2
cares?
years ago.
Yeah.
People don't care.
Oh, we care, Kevin. We're gonna let
Yes,
people know we care.
yes, and that's why we're here, and that's why we get to do this. But at the end of the day, like, you know, for most people, they don't really care. But like, you know, for the select few, you know, like, at the end of the day, people are gonna be happy with the Gap. But some people want Supreme. So when they want Supreme, they come to us.
Some others want H&M. Some of them
Right.
want.
You know, because you're not just buying, you know, like when you follow a brand, you're following their story. There's history to it. There's, you know, a reason why you want to connect with these people and support them. You know, and at the end of the day, we are New York, right? New York is the number 1 capital of everything in the fucking world. From culture to money to everything else. And I'm not against anybody else's brand, right? But the thing is that if you go to Happy Munkey and support them, you know what happens? Happy Munkey spends their money right here in this city, right? So now that money now goes to our barbers, our bodegas, our grocery stores, you know, so I think that us getting together and supporting and the community coming behind us is a way of just making our community better. So that's why I think that's like the bigger picture we got to look at.
And then what happens is, Kevin, because like you said earlier, it's capitalism is going to happen regardless. So we, you know, come from legacy. Now we're going uptown. Things go good for us. Now what you said about the mentoring now, we grab other people that we know, also put it in, and you give them the blueprint so it can continue.
Yeah.
Because
or just
without
option.
people seeing an
Well, that's like
example
what I
of
did with the
representation, you can't think that it's possible.
I showed people how to grow and feed their families. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the same thing you guys now get to do. Something I did before.
Yeah, because
You know what I'm saying?
let's keep it real. We talk about this all the time. Before any of this, there was no information coming uptown, right? Everybody was kind of clueless about what's going on in general.
We've forgotten uptown.
So, you know, it's
Uptown, thank God y'all coming up there because now the attention's gonna go where it needs to go. To a fucking legendary legacy brand and a motherfucking legendary legacy neighborhood. That's where it needs to be.
Because it's
So besides me, there's nobody else I'd be happier to see than up there than y'all.
nah, that means a lot coming from you, man.
Thank you.
Because people don't understand, like, people died to build this industry. People got deported. People went in jail to build this industry. So I just wanted to, like, you to mention some people that sacrificed a lot to really build this, that were from uptown. You know what I mean? That are able to talk about. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, if weed wasn't illegal, Ruben wouldn't be deported, right? And then, you know,
Pioneers.
from COA to Vice and KL and Will and his brother Marino, and like his kids are still on the corner now.
So
Still running
for
the
those that
block.
don't understand what Kev is talking about is like different OGs from Uptown, from Washington Heights that passed away. You know, rest in peace. But that not like
Percio.
not
Yeah,
like not
Uptown
like
Heights,
what
man.
once again like what Kev said earlier. Not like I sold a few apes in our college. Like
No.
not like I sold a
Nah.
few apes on
Kingpins.
the spot.
Kings.
Like
Kings.
people that only lived for 20 years of their life selling cannabis for a living and really built this industry to a higher level.
Well, what people don't understand is like part of the reason why I left the corners was it got crazy. Because
You risked
like
your life.
the weed game, like in the beginning, was more of a gentleman's game. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, it
crack dealers were selling crack,
Yeah.
but then the crack game died. So now they entered the weed game, and that mentality also came with it. So you know, I could be off on the numbers, but there's at least 17 dudes that were killed in like a couple of year time span by one person, basically, that basically wiped out a lot of the OGs. You know what I'm saying? So I remember meeting up with Jay and Omar, like maybe about a year and a half ago, whenever I first came out, and I was like, "Who's around?" Both like,
There's nobody around.
you know, like.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, you know, it was a rough game, and you know, between time in jail that people got and people that got killed, and to see like Will, who was one of my favorite dudes, you know, like in the Marina, you knew him well, Papa Frank,
It was,
like-
yes.
like he had 5 kids and he was with his kids, and
And
everybody else was with
father,
chicks.
His father used to cook fish for all of us. You
Yeah.
remember? His father used to cook fish.
So you know, like when everybody talks about legacy, right? Like keeping it real, like those kids are still on the corner. Lost their
Legacy,
uncle, their
legacy.
dad. You know, like Frankie had to survive after both
Yeah.
brothers were hit. You know, like, so I just think that, like, to honor legacy, somehow we got to find a way to get those kids into the legal market where they can now make money. Because at the end of the day, you know, whether, you know, any of us did time, which I never did, but my brother did, which he shouldn't have. You know, like, those kids lost more than anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Vice's kids. You know, like, whatever they're doing, like, there should be, like,
Yeah, because it's like when you
some
think
kind of
about it,
reparations. I
because
know people don't like that
people
word.
People don't understand, like you said.
some sort of something.
You
right?
said
Like
that. You
like
said that.
money.
You know, they even just taking out the leaders out of the neighborhoods was so changed everything that now the youth is lost and there's no mentors. Imagine when you take the breadwinner out of the household, what that does to the rest of the family, and you know what I mean. And that's what everybody was dependent off of. You know what I mean. And this person was medicating their community with cannabis, and now because of that, you know, something bad happens. Now this family is distraught. They deported. They go to jail. Something bad happens, and like it's tough. And like these are the sacrifices that was made to make this $6 billion industry. That's why like we gotta find ways, like you said, to make sure that these people get the opportunities to move forward, because it's like people don't. That's why it's so important to hear these stories. People don't believe that this could happen for cannabis. People like now it's all, you know, everything is like kumbaya, and it's great that it is, but they don't understand like what it took to get here. And I think the more they hear it, the more they
Well,
appreciate
you know, that's
it.
because so many people lie and bullshit so much, and you know, like everybody sold weed in high school and everybody did. So like it's everybody was the community. But nah, not everybody was the community. You know what I'm saying? Like there are certain people that were the community and certain people that ain't. You know, like, so at the end of the day, stop bullshitting and pay respect to the people that deserve it. You know, honor those, their families that got killed that aren't here. Let's try and work on making brands that could do something to support those families. And that would be the best way any of us could actually
Pay it
show,
forward.
Yeah.
you know, we're not talking shit. You know, work behind all right, what kids are still around?
Yeah, show them opportunity.
At least
You know
from
what I
our
mean?
neighborhood,
Yeah.
we can find them. You know, I could get Will's kids. You know,
Yeah,
how we
yeah.
get them off the corners? How do we get them in stores? How do
Yeah,
we?
and that's part of why we have you here, because other peoples don't get their flowers and don't give the respect. That's why we got you here, because we have the utmost respect for you going through that era, keeping your morals, principles, and values, and coming on here to share these stories and kick knowledge with us. We want to give you your flowers, respect to you, your brand, everything you're doing, because you deserve everything you get, and because of all the work you put in this industry.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Come on, baby. Give my man Triple OG give you a round of applause. There. We gotta give people their flowers while they're here, man.
Something right there for you, my brother.
Yeah, it's
You
a
know
trip.
what I mean?
You know, like
Yeah, you're here now, man.
doing podcasts and shit.
Exactly.
I first told my wife, she was like, "What do you fuck?" She don't curse. She was like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? You know, and like back in the days, if you called me White Boy Kev, we were fighting. Because I was a sign of disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
So now that's my brand, White Boy Kev.
Right.
And then until this, like at the end of the day, like I wouldn't want anybody that didn't already know me to know I had the Marina, because the negative connotations to what happened to my family, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to have to explain myself, because no matter what, the media already portrayed me and my brother to be a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's no way to get that retraction. That doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? But and now I'm the Marina Boys. You know, like, and I get to claim that and get to own it. And now, like, back in the days, I couldn't defend myself. I wish I could have said, I only sold weed, but I couldn't say nothing.
You have to be in hiding in the underworld.
You
as they
just
say.
had to take it.
And then, you know, like you said, most of his friends wiped out,
The embarrassment my
Went
mother
to
had for
jail.
all that shit.
all that shit. Yeah, it was.
You know, like you said, you know, you take away the breadwinners, you take away this. Like, it wasn't easy for me to survive. I couldn't work. Like, for that whole year and a half, my brother was fighting. I
Not
couldn't
rough.
touch nothing. And then when I wasn't there, things didn't work right. Take losses, you know? If I didn't have a strong wife that, like, kept it real for me, and that was the biggest blessing, is that I found out who my wife was. 'Cause
That's
before that, I had money. You got money, you know, getting a good-looking woman isn't that difficult.
but when she gets
Keeping her
rough,
when you broke,
it gets
that's a
rough.
different story. For real.
So now, Kev, like I said, man, you know, it's an honor to have you here, like I said, and even though, you know, I know it was tough for you to come out publicly. I know that, you know, coming from where we come from, it was a big transition, but like, you gotta think about it, and I hope you're seeing the effect that it's not just me and Ramon and the brothers and the team that told you that, like, you inspiring, you know, other OGs, you're inspiring young people like us to, you know what I mean, people hear these stories like, damn, I'm around somebody that did this, and you know, people be like, maybe I gotta carry these morals, principles, and values, and I'll be around as long as Kev. You know what I mean? It does something to people whether you see it or not.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, anything that could be positive on the younger generation, like, you know, just simple words of advice. Don't fuck nobody's girl. Don't steal nobody's money. Keep your word. It's not like really that hard.
It's not rocket science.
If you just keep like simple principles down, like it's not that difficult to be able to walk with your head high. You know, so you know, just that's what keeping it real is, taking care of your family. No guns. I never had a gun ever. All those years in the Heights, no guns. Did my boys have guns? Yeah. You know, like Koa and people like that, yeah, they were built different. But like for me, if I didn't fuck your girl, if I didn't steal your money, if I didn't, like I worked on 164, I didn't fuck with Alan's customers. Probably fucked with mine. But I didn't do that. I didn't give an excuse. It wasn't worth that $20. You know, like so. If you keep it simple and find good people, keep around those people, and don't sell yourself out for a buck, you'll be alright.
Well, that hit on my next question, so I'm not even gonna ask that one. So we gonna keep it a little light and let's bring it back a little happy Bucky and bring people a little bit happy. I guess I'll hit everybody with like, and I guess I'll ask everybody in the room, not just only Kev, because this feels a little general right here, right? If Happy Munkey was a strain, what would it be and why?
Start over there.
We start over there to the left. I guess I start with my man David. I gotta fuck with you, my man.
Damn, Happy
Yeah.
Munkey was a strain. What strain would it be?
Yeah, man, it's a good one. I want everybody because we all
It'd
get
have to
high.
be a unique strain. So to me, it would have to be something that's uplifting, kind of like a haze that keeps you going.
Mm.
You know, because like all your parties, everything y'all always do, like is always dope, different, edgy, exciting. You know, so it's got to be something like that.
Something.
Not a knockout weed. You know, like something that brings you up.
So like a haze or something mixed with a haze. What do you think back there? No, just like a strawberry haze or some shit like that. I don't know.
You gotta invent it. Just
You
like
gotta
that,
invent
just
it?
gotta invent it.
You gotta invent it. What
It's
you
gotta
think,
be new.
David?
It's off the books, man. I'm trying to figure it out myself. I do agree. It's definitely not a knock you out. It's definitely an uplifting. It's definitely a happy for sure.
Oh man.
Yeah, but
So it will have to be like a combination of like sour and haze, and you call it happy hour.
Oh wow, damn.
Sound good.
Damn, let's go print the die cut bag right now. Let's
Oh
get
man, let's do it.
That's it. We got it.
it going.
Let's do it.
I was here. I was here, so I want to cut.
You inspired
You're
it,
gonna
man.
make the cut. You're gonna make the cut, right?
So another one we ask everybody, Kev, and I would love to know yours because you just like an encyclopedia of knowledge. You know, you've been through so much. Is if you had to describe everything you know about Happy Munkey, everything you know in one word, what would the word be?
For me, supportive.
Supportive. Nobody ever used that one before.
'Cause, you know, the first time I met y'all, and the first time I met you, you know, first thing you were telling me, OG, you got to come out, you know, and then me and his relationship, and then, you know, the daddy, you know, like, that's 30 years we go back.
30 years.
30 years. Me and Omar were talking about it the other day.
So how was the first time when you ran into that? You know what I mean?
He was trying to sell me work.
So, trying to sell you work? So how that went down? Break it
So
down.
I had a rap group back in the days with Narcotics.
You had a rap group and all that,
I
man.
did the whole music shit too. Not only the Marina, I did the music shit. I was looking to buy work.
Like what? When you say work, what was it?
Haze, haze.
Haze, I imagine.
Haze.
Hey, is this real?
We gotta be clear. We gotta be clear here. You know, define word
We gotta clarify.
Haze.
Haze, man.
Haze.
Yeah, it had to be Haze.
Yeah.
There was nothing else for me at that
Yeah,
point.
exactly. You know.
So that's how I first met them. And then in the Marina, they were there. You know, like
anybody was there.
you know, like I said, of the most influential weed dudes that I knew, they were all there. Other
Bro.
than maybe CNO. He was the only one stayed away.
But everybody from anywhere, let's and I talk from what I saw, you know what I mean, and I'm not gonna say names, but I seen everybody who was anybody at the time, right? You know what I mean? It was people from like all over the world, bro, going to that area. Let's be real. There was boats, expensive boats, cars. The shit was crazy, brother. Like it was something you couldn't even see now on social media. Like you see what people fronting to be now on social media.
heights?
Niggas was really that back then. Niggas was
Not
really
in Miami, in New York, uptown.
New York, uptown. You showing up in foreigns or leaving in the boat. Like fuck it, I'm gonna leave my car here. And we leaving in the boat or some shit and end up at another marina. Like it was crazy. It was like real, like. Fabulous hood, like we always talk about. This is the most fabulous hood I ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? Because it's different.
Ghetto fabulous.
It was ghetto
Oh, for
fab.
sure. Like we were the highest class hood. Like
Come
you didn't
on,
have
fam.
your,
Like, it
your
was
parents
crazy.
weren't worried about getting robbed.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, "Holo Pedro."
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
it was,
battle.
yeah, back
right?
there it was crazy.
You know it was over
yeah,
at that
Crazy.
point.
Yeah, it was.
You know,
Make
so
it
like
off the block.
it was safe like that, but yeah, it was high class because everybody had money.
It was money
Like-
circulating for sure.
Like even if you were a worker, you know, it doesn't sound like much now, but you make a G in your pocket. You know,
Kev,
but
I
back
started
then-
when I was 12 years old. And my name.
Look out.
Nope. I used to go. Remember, I'm from 139. So you know what was going on over there in the early 90s and 80s in Broadway.
Mhm.
You know, that shit was like, I tell people like Walmart for cocaine and crack. So I used to go and like, yo, they had companies they couldn't move from the block, right, Kev? Yo, so I get your cleaners, I get Chinese food for you, I just go do errands, and I get you a week. I'm
Yeah.
12 years old.
Yeah.
For doing errands, like going to the clinic, like you said, like it was like growing up like Goodfellas.
You know, at the end of the day, I was a CEO of a company. You know, I'm running 3 corners, the Marina, like.
You got flagships and shit like that.
I got 150, 200 employees. You know, so it's just like the smart young kid is the kid you put your time in, because I'm sure the reason why you were making that money is because there was an OG that saw something in you and was like, okay, I choose to put my money in him. And then now you were responsible
Now I'm
and
an intern.
what you had to do, and then that's how it worked. And now, what did you do for the OG? You made sure the OG was safe.
God.
Whoever put money in your pocket and kept it real, now
You
there's
paid the
cops
favor.
down the block.
Yeah.
You know? So that's where, you know, like, there was lookouts, there was managers, there was stash houses, there was grow houses. Like, you're running a company. You know, without being taught, and maybe not the paperwork and all that other shit, because you keep it here.
But
But
you're
you
running an
still-
organization. If it was a legal company, it's like you said, you got a manager, you got a COO, you got a CFO, you got the salesperson.
You had the guy to collect the money, you had the guy to drop off the money. You know? Everything different.
It's crazy. Now we here. Now there's 45 legal stores. It's estimated now, Kev, that by the end of this year there'll probably be like 200 stores.
Hell no.
In
New York gonna fuck this shit up again.
Tell me how you feel it, Kev. Tell me,
That
please
shit.
tell me.
Are you kidding, bro?
Indoors,
New York
no,
couldn't
no.
try to fuck this shit up any more than they have. That's why I'm going to Jersey. I'm going to Jersey. That's where my opportunities are going. I'm going out to Jersey. This shit is a fucking joke.
It's a circus.
Come on, man. Look how much you guys worked. You know, like at the end of the day, how much money have y'all spent? This shit costs money being out here. It costs money going up Albany. Everything costs fucking money.
Costs money. Yeah.
I went to your office 1.5 years ago. You had white people giving me water. So I know y'all was spending money. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit was like I went to a law firm. Like, oh, would you like water? I'm like, all right. You know what I'm saying? I forget I'm white sometimes. But, you know, like, so I know the time, you had to hire lawyers. And they played games with y'all when y'all helping them write the laws and actually trying to help. So, like, when I seen y'all weren't getting in, like, right away, and, like, y'all had to go through this, there's no way I was putting my energy into it. I'm too old, man. Y'all younger. I'm tired, bro. I can't deal with this mess.
Hopefully,
It's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, hopefully you know, as messy as it can get, we gonna deal with the situation, and hopefully we make it easier for everybody else. Because that's basically at this point, that's where we at. We only gonna go forward and never backwards. And yeah, that's how I feel at this point. You know what I'm saying, Kev? And it's like at this point, you know, we've put it out there. We like you said, we helped put you out there. So it's hard at this point to even look backwards.
No,
You know what I'm
y'all
saying?
in and y'all
So
gotta
we
do
like,
it,
yo,
and we need y'all there to do it. You know what I'm saying? But for me, you know, like, I'm old. Like, you know, at the end of the day, I
no
gotta
joke.
reserve my resources for where I feel the fight is right. You know what I'm saying? And I just seen New York, like, look, man, I don't fuck with politicians. I like those.
So what do you think?
I told you, I'm getting canceled.
Nah, man.
What do you?
good,
So what do you think about New York? Why you think you don't want to go out, like, because you want to go the product route, right? And there's no.
First
way
of all, to me, it's always about quality, right? What made us in the Heights special was about the fire we produce.
Yep.
You know, from every drug, right? But specifically, we talking about weed, right? So now, like, especially me and my plant, for me to go in somewhere, like, I don't know outdoor work. And outdoor work, we don't know what New York can do compared to California. It's different climates, it's different. What I know is indoor, right?
Yeah.
And there's no option for me to get an indoor right now. Like I would have had to apply. I applied for the mentorship. They said I didn't qualify. So that was the actual reason for me to say fuck you. You know. So now, if I can't do indoor work, like something I could put my name on, something that when I say,
You can be
look,
proud of.
this is White Boy Kev,
Yeah.
you know, like
You can be
I
proud
could be
of.
proud of it. You could still tell me it's whack,
You can
but
be
if I
proud.
can't believe in it, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like for now, my better options are in Jersey.
George is way more mature because you know he started.
It's
first.
farther along the line. It seems to be less political. Come on, man. You know what you've had to, all the fucking hurdles you guys have had to deal with here.
But no joke.
Keeping your mouth quiet and, you know, working and putting the work and spending money and yo, that shit get me tight, bro. They playing games like choosing whose legacy.
Choosing whose legacy.
Choosing.
You can't choose whose legacy.
No, but they
man.
are. They
But
are. There's
people-
a lottery
but
system.
people
They
like people-
choosing.
People like you and the others that's left are gonna really say when their opinion was legacy. You know what I mean? Because like I said, that term gets around loosely now, like you legacy. So then you have the authority to stamp what's legacy or not. And with your definition of legacy is different than others. You know what I mean? And as long as the real rights know what it is, that's all that matters.
And
That's
that's
what we doing
that's
it
what
for.
I love the most is like when I go into rooms, like, you know, just like anything in life, there's a room within the room,
There's a room within the room.
you know, and I get to be in that room. You know
All
what
the
I'm
time.
saying?
Yes.
Like I get to be around guys like y'all, guys that have all done historic things on their own and then as a group, but not just y'all, other people like that, and hear the stories and be part of that, like that I really don't care what anybody else says. Because I know I'm in that room. Or you.
That's the fact.
So like when you're in the room, you don't really care what other people's opinions are. It's just an opinion.
Yeah, that's it.
I like facts.
Nowadays,
Check any podcast I put out. They're all gonna match.
Yeah, consistency.
Everybody here could validate.
now, I mean, so now, what is your prediction? Like, let's say, 5 years from now? Because imagine you went away for 5 years and lived your life, kids, family, and you just saw like shit, the whole world change, right? You said you went from what you
Everything
did. So, what do you think 5 years from now the cannabis industry?
What it's gonna be like in 5
Yeah,
years,
what do you
or
think
where
of-
I'm gonna be in 5
What do
years.
you think? Like the industry? Where you gonna be, and where's the industry gonna be in 5 years?
I think at some point I'm gonna get paid.
Of course you are.
I think there's a path for me to get some money here.
You deserve it.
I think that, you know, we hustlers, we figure something out, and it might not be in growing, it might not be in a dispensary, it might be in a fucking shovel,
Something.
you know, it might be something different, but
Something
like
gotta
I
work.
just feel that like life didn't bring me here for me not to get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Like they say, you
That should be a fucked up joke.
You wouldn't be here.
That should be fucked up.
You wouldn't be here if you couldn't be here, man.
So that's the way I feel, right? Damn, that's fucked up. The industry, I mean,
Yeah, man.
I think that like New York's a special place, and I think that like New York, you know, we are the Lucky Lucianos, we are the Meyer Lanskys, we are, you know, like, so those guys, you know, they always go up. So they'll be there, and, you know, like, so they'll be that. But, you know, just like anything, you know, with today's social media and everything, things get diluted. But I think these podcasts are important to get those stories out, and, you know, we could do fact checks.
Anything else you got for us, Mr. David?
Are we missing anything though from the checklist? We should be good.
No, we hit it all. Aside from Munchies, but honestly, like I think we
All right, yeah, let's ask my man Kev. So we always like to know like what the best munchies are, meaning like what was Kev back in those days? What was
Yeah.
your go-to spot to go get that bomb food you high?
Munchies?
Munchies, Uptown. Uptown though.
And cheap and broke, Caporal.
Oh,
Shit, bro. There'd be a line at 3, 4 in the morning out there for $1.50 with 3 pieces of chicken with French fries.
Man.
You had $6, you treated 3 of your boys, you were good.
You were
That was
good.
the
Like
shit
Caporal,
right there.
you know, but
Wow.
I love my Dominican food, my rice and beans,
Yeah, of course,
and whether it was
of
La
course.
Barca or Cabaña or Presidente, like,
Malago.
yeah, you know, that was all just
Crazy.
That's my shit.
Damn, that was super old school, sneaky peeky, man. That shit was
For
that was
real.
my shit, man. They
You
call
regret it
box.
the next day, but that day,
But that was
that
the
was
shit,
like
man.
our White Castle.
Yeah, that was a survival kit, baby. That shit was open
Yeah, but
24 hours a day.
For those that don't know though, right, like Dominicans came heavy like in the 80s or whatever, but there was a big Irish community uptown back in the days.
Yeah,
It was all Irish and
It
Jewish.
was all Irish and Jewish. You know what I mean? For those that don't know the history from
Yeah.
uptown.
My
Yeah.
mother was born in 1940 on 160th in Riverside, and at the age of 1 moved to her apartment now. Her family was her family came from like the Mayflower.
The Mayflower.
Yeah, like back in the days. My father was first generation, but like all their brothers and cousins, like, so when my brother grew up, it's how quick the neighborhood changed from let's say 75 to 82. There was just a drastic change.
Mm-hmm.
So like
70s,
my brother
70s.
had cousins everywhere. I ain't had nobody. That was it. But yeah, it was all Irish and Jewish.
So I'm saying, so you talk about being a true Yorker. You know what I mean? My man is a true Yorker.
he's a
Mom
native,
left from
man. You know,
1940.
It's hard because, right, you got a lot of implants now right here, right? Like, you know, they've been here for 10 years, 8 years, 5 years, whatever. You know, some people even starting their families here, right? So you call them a New Yorker, but when you say somebody's a native New Yorker, right, it's like, you know, your mom's is here, you know.
My grandparents, everybody.
You know, like, that's,
My grandparents were supers on 162nd and Fort Wash, where Maximo's, you know, the grocery store.
yeah.
Legendary dude right there. So yeah, so
Listen, everybody. If you have to put a price on this, we gave you 1,000 pounds of Haze worth of game. So y'all already know, man. Honored to have the man, the myth, the legend, White Boy Kev here in the flesh, dropping
This was
jewelry
good.
for y'all. But remember, you know what I mean? Y'all gotta stay tapped in. Go to happymunkey.com.
Yes, sir.
Check out what's happening. We're coming
support
soon.
True Legacy.
We're coming soon
Thank
to a
you,
theater
man.
near
Thank
you.
you.
Now, Kev, tell them all the places they can find you if they want to see what the Marina Boys is up to. Like all the different places to find you, like on social, whatever.
Yeah, White Boy Kev 164
There you
on
go.
Instagram. La Marina Boys. And that's basically it.
Yeah, man.
Follow my page, and you know I do a lot of events, shows. Come see the flower I have,
Yeah, man.
and check out the vibe. Meet other growers. Meet the community.
It's piff. It's definitely piff.
Same thing, man. Support real Triple OG Legacy. White Boy Kev, La Marina Boys.
Yes, sir.
Remember, my man told you in a
OG.
different way. Stay real, don't steal, and life is gonna hand you a good deal. So remember, ladies and gentlemen,
My man
you're
learning
too
new
blessed to
bars
be
out
stressed.
here.
Things will get greater
My man
later.
learning new
Always
bars
keep
out
happy.
here. Let's go.
Come on, my nigga. Come on, man. I should have been a rapper, my nigga. My man Kev dropped bombs on us.
Good to see you.